many douches around the country right now. You know, this is just amazing. 90% of surveyed educators, 90% of surveyed educators said the climate at their school was negatively affected by the election of Donald Trump. 4 out of 10 said their schools don't have action plans to deal with the incidents of hate and bias that they've been seeing in their schools. Now, we started today by recapping, what is wrong with the justice system pre-Donald Trump. The Walter Scott case and the God, there's so many Scotts today. I'm so sorry. And the, Keith Lamont Scott. Right. Oh my God. Both in the Carolinas. Okay, one south, one north. So we've actually looked at that, right? And that happened before Donald Trump was running, but Donald Trump wasn't the POTUS or the POTUS. He wasn't the president-elect or anything like that. So now that we see their election and his election, and now that we see what he's doing to this country with the cabinet picks, which we'll go over today because you need to know. You need to know. And just keep in mind, there were many, many people that could have been Secretary of the Treasury. There are many people that could have been Secretary of Commerce. There are many people that, Elizabeth Warren, for one, you've got Attorney General candidates that, taught law at Harvard University. You've got people that teach economics. You've got, all kinds of very qualified people in this country if you were really going to drain the swamp. And of course, he's not. So now we're looking at Jeff Sessions for the Justice Department, which is insane. That is just, to have Jeff Sessions be the arbiter of civil liberties in this country based on, just even those 2 videos, those 2 cases of men who were just waiting for their kids to come off the school bus, or a guy who was, just driving on a Saturday morning with a broken taillight, ending up dead. So now downshift into, the new future, this new nightmare that we're living in. And then look at what's going on just at the school level, okay? In the first days of Donald Trump's election, now we're in the 3rd week, okay? So now there's many, many more. But in the first days, we showed you all these Twitter compilations that of people taking photos or short videos of swastikas in their school, vandalism in the school, all kinds of, harassment of students, a Latino basketball team coming to other school to play, in a tournament and they're screaming at these little Mexican kids who came at middle school level to play basketball. Oh, you're going to be deported, pack your bags, go home, time to go, right? So now there's been an additional survey. And students in Kansas, this is just an amazing thing. Students in Kansas chanted, "Trump won, you're going back to Mexico," to students from other countries. This is according to a high school teacher. In Oregon, a high school teacher photographed vandalism in the boys' bathroom with KKK and the N-word, written on the wall. In Tennessee, a black student was blocked from entering his classroom by 2 white students just standing there screaming, "Trump, Trump, 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 Trump." Georgia, a 12-year-old white male student saw an X on another white student's paper and completed the drawing by drawing a swastika on the paper. This is middle school. These are 12-year-olds, okay? And the school teacher is talking to CNN anonymously because she's saying, our administration is telling us not to talk about it. So now you look at this big study, okay? 10,000 educators, 90% of whom are teachers. 10,000 educators, 90% of them teachers, responded to an online survey that was sponsored by Teaching Tolerance, which is a project that they do at the Southern Poverty Law Center, which tracks hate crimes, right? And 10,000 educators, 90% of them teachers, responded to the survey, as long as they could be anonymous, saying that they're unprepared for what is going on in their schools, that their administrators are telling them to keep this inside the school, not to report this out to press, not to talk to local press, not to talk to national press, not to talk to anyone outside the school. And meanwhile, the teachers say, we don't have any plan to deal with this. And the incidents of sheer hatred and the scaring, intimidation and bullying of other kids is so off the hook, so off the charts. We don't know what to do about it. And our administration is telling us just shut up about it. 40% of these 10,000 teachers said they had heard derogatory language used against students of color, Muslim students, immigrant students, and other students based on their sexual orientation or gender identity. She said, we are still daily experiencing the effects of the outcome. A fifth grade teacher in Minneapolis said, my students have begun playing a game called Trump's Coming. It's a game where a non-Hispanic student yells, Trump's coming, and all the Hispanic students have to hide. And if they don't, they're pushed and shoved by the white students, okay? She said there have been more fights between students as well as students towards teachers. A direct result of the anxiety our students are constantly feeling. Daily, we discuss and answer questions about the hate they see spewed across the internet and within their community about what is true and what is not true. There have been 2,500 reports of negative incidents of bigotry and harassment that could be directly tied to the rhetoric of the presidential campaign, according to the report entitled, if you want to see it, it's called After Election Day, The Trump Effect.